group is made up of Brett, Hunter, and Ryan. Today we will be discussing the effect of quality breakfast consumption on cognitive test performance in middle school students from low income and average income students.
We will be going over some key terms, the statement of the problem, our school breakfast program, the research questions, our research proposal with both methods and limitations, a hypothesis, and implications.
Two terms that are important to describe are breakfast, the first meal of the day consumed after the longest period of sleep that occurs within 24-hour time period. It is usually consumed within 2 to 3 hours of waking and is comprised of food and or beverages from one or more food groups consumed at varying locations. The other word that's important to define is quality breakfast. The ideal composition of the breakfast meal consisting of criteria set forth by O'Neill, according to whom the meal should provide energy and essential nutrients balanced in proportion to daily needs and meet individual tastes in a form that is accessible and affordable.
Two more very important terms to define are cognitive ability and macronutrients. The cognitive ability definition we use for this study is cognitive ability in relation to increased performance in academic-related tasks such as reading, writing, and information recall. Macronutrients also have a major effect on our energy intake. The definition of macronutrients is any carbohydrates, fats, and protein which should be consumed in amounts based on the recommended daily values and in accordance with energy need and expenditure.
We have found that the consumption of macronutrients and their components like glucose have been found to impact performance on cognitive tasks significantly. Research suggests that eating breakfast has cognitive benefits when talking about a student's academic performance. This especially applies to students who have a greater risk for missing or skipping breakfast.
Through our research, we have found that foods high in omega-3 fatty acids and whole grains have significant benefits towards cognitive abilities. This information helped us construct the main building blocks of our healthy breakfast. Also, through research, we found that unhealthy foods, which have negative effects on cognition, have an abundance of trans fats and saturated fats. This info helped construct our unhealthy breakfast.
One article which summarized two key findings on the role of breakfast in health, which was particularly important to our study, told us these two facts. Regular consumption of breakfast is associated with healthier body weight, a better diet quality, reduced risk for chronic diseases, and cognitive benefits. The other key fact was not all breakfasts are created equal. Rather, it is the consumption of quality breakfast that seems to provide the greatest potential benefit for students in academic functioning.
One study we found that benefits our research is the school breakfast program. This program is a federally assisted meal program that operates in public and nonprofit schools, as well as residential child care institutes. It is administered in both state and federal levels and serves more than 89,000 schools and institutions.
A study by David Friswald shows how the school breakfast program confirms the positive impact of having a quality school breakfast. This study is important because it is one of the first studies to fill the gap on literature and the quality of school breakfast.
The major part of this study is that all students are eligible to purchase breakfast through this program. This program also provides meals for free to students who fall at or below 130% of the federal poverty level.
Our hypothesis is that students who eat a nutritious breakfast prior to taking a generalized cognition test will yield better results than the students who ate a non-nutritional breakfast.
To explain our study, we will use a cross-sectional design. Our sample will consist of 12 groups of 6th through 8th grade students. Half of our students will be given an unhealthy breakfast, which consists of pancakes with butter, sausage, half a plain bagel with cream cheese, along with reduced fat milk. Our other group of students will receive a good quality breakfast, which would be cereal with grains, with flaxseed, along with apple slices and a bottle of water. Both groups will take a cognition test an hour after eating breakfast.
Our sample which we used was one school consisting of primarily average supplement educational services. Another group will consist of primarily low supplemental educational services. From these groups, we will get a sample of students ages 11 through 14, and we will make sure to get parental consent from these students.
The measures we will take will be a cognition test that will measure the student's performance after eating the various breakfast choices. This test is more beneficial to our study than simply using an IQ test. The test scores will then be summed up by a percentage. These scores will be plotted and then superimposed onto a graph of the unhealthy breakfast eaters.
So this is an example of our table which we will use afterwards. This table is going to show the average test scores for each group. On the side you can see it shows which group is from which school, and it will show the quality breakfast students and the non-quality breakfast students. Some possible limitations which can impact our study are food allergies. If a student is lactose intolerant, gluten-free, or has a peanut allergy, it can impact that student on how they take the breakfast. Another limitation is test anxiety. Students who have test anxiety will not be able to perform in the time period correctly, also skewing our results. Subject selection can affect our study due to the recruitment strategies. And not knowing the students' previous home nutritions can limit us as well.
This study proves importance for many reasons. It defines what healthy and unhealthy is, along with explaining the importance of breakfast to students. It explains cognitive ability and how it can be improved, as well as emphasizing the role of breakfast in student success.
These are the references which we use for this study. Thank you.